it's Rockstar JoJo, and today I'm gonna be telling you how to take care of a bearded dragon. This is all the things this is what I'm writing down now, so if I'm looking down, you know why. But we're just gonna start with this video. This is Mushu, my bearded dragon. I almost had her for a year now, but I'm gonna tell you how to take care of them, because I had her since I was in 12th grade, and I just wanted to do a video on how to do this, because I mean, I've had her for a while, so why not? So let's get started in this video. Okay, so how to take care of a bearded dragon. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need to do, because we're gonna get straight to it, we're raw dogging this. So the first thing on how to take care of a bearded dragon is feed them 2 to 3 times a day. It's just standard, 2 to 3 times a day, especially when they're babies. I'm gonna get more into that in a little bit, but 2 to 3 times a day. She eats twice a day, not 3 times, 2 times. So 2 to 3 times a day is the standard. Take this video, by the way. You can look at many other content creators, many other people. You don't just have to take my video, but you could take multiple people's videos, because my dog, you can hear that. My dog's under my bed. But you could take other people's videos and, you know, look at different videos. But this is just in my experience, because people say this is not a beginner reptile, but since she is a beginner reptile, yeah. So the second thing is the tank. As you can see, the tank's back here. This is not a 40-gallon, but people always say 40 gallons. I really don't know, because I started with a 20-gallon when she was a baby, so I started with a 20. But I feel like if you get a bigger tank, it's better, but do your own research, because I started with a 20. I think you could start with a 20-gallon. In my experience, I never had a 40-gallon because it can't fit in my room anyway. So the tank I use is a 36 by 18 by 12. That's what I use for me. I'm gonna get a bigger one soon when she gets bigger. Yeah, that's the size I use. I really don't have any experience with tanks, so that's just tank that I use. People say 40-gallon or 120-gallon, but I really don't know. But the gallons I use is a 36 by 18 by 12. I keep looking down at my notes. I'm sorry. This is my first YouTube video. I'm trying. So far, I'm trying to do good, but you know, I'm not perfect. Okay, so next we're gonna go with the food, just the whole food thing. So food that you're gonna feed your bearded dragons is dubia roaches and crickets. Dubia roaches is for protein. Well, just those two, dubia roaches and crickets. You feed those as the meat. And then next you're gonna do with some veggies, because their diet does change when they get older. They eat less bugs and more vegetables when they get older. So what vegetables that I would recommend is mustard greens, collard greens, cucumbers, carrots, green leaf lettuce, romanium, and stay away from iceberg. Iceberg is not nutrition. I don't know if romanium lettuce is good, because people say, oh, it's not good for them. But if I don't have any lettuce, I'll feed her romanium. But I feel like the mustard greens and the collard greens and kale and all that is pretty good for them. Carrots are good for them. You know, there's a lot of food that you can feed them, but you can't feed them too much. You can feed them parsley on occasion, tomatoes, but you just gotta do your own research on what you want to feed her. Because my bearded dragon does not eat every single vegetable I feed her. She eats kale, she eats romanium. She doesn't eat all, like, how can I say this? She doesn't eat all types of vegetables. Same with fruit. She doesn't eat a lot of fruit either. They say we should feed them a lot of fruit, but some fruits she just doesn't eat. So, yeah. Okay, so like I said, stay away from iceberg. Iceberg's not healthy, not good. Animals in general, if you have birds, if you have parrots, if you have lizards, any type of lizard, if you have any pet, I wouldn't recommend feeding them I wouldn't recommend feeding them iceberg lettuce, because iceberg lettuce is not good for them. It's not healthy. Just don't stay away from iceberg. Okay, so when it comes to treats, it's fattening for these guys. These guys will get fat if you feed them fatty treats, and you only give them treats, meaning you only give like the worms and stuff for treats. But the worms that I would recommend is mealworms, waxworms, superworms, silkworms, and hornworms. That's the treats. You don't want to feed them every day, because I get my roaches and my bugs. Well, I get my crickets from the I get my crickets from the pet store, but if you go to the dubiaroach.com, some of them will tell you the fattening and stuff on it and tell you that's not healthy. So yeah, if you want to get some roaches, the DubiaRoach.com or the Doobie-Doo. But the Doobie-Doo only sells dubia roaches. But the DubiaRoach.com, they will tell you, they'll sell everything to you, even bugs. And they will have like the facts and like, oh sorry, the facts and the health stuff with it. So you just got to look at that because, oh my God, you have to look at it because the mealworms and all the superworms that when I looked on this website, it honestly says fattening. So you just got to really look. It's the www.dubiaroach.com. That's what you need to look for. Okay, so those are just for treats. You don't really want to feed them because it's fattening. Do your own research. You just take this video, like I said, and apply it to different other videos. But those are fattening. Now, fruit. There's so much fruit you can feed them, but she only eats these types for my bearded dragon. But you just gotta do trial and error. But fruits they can eat. They can't eat all fruits, but fruits that I would recommend: blueberries, grapes, and strawberries. She eats that stuff. She doesn't eat too much because all bearded dragons are different. So you gotta figure out what bearded dragon, your bearded dragon, if you're getting one, if they like it, you know? So you just gotta make sure you tend to them. So yeah, that's the fruit that I feed her. Number one important thing is to get calcium powder. Calcium powder is important because they can get this thing called metabolic bone disease, or their bones start cracking and breaking. I'm not gonna pull a picture up. You know, I will just say that it's cracking with the bones. I don't know if you want to see it. The pictures are kind of disturbing. I don't think you really want to see it. It's kind of bad. You look it up. Look up metabolic bone disease. It's so sad that these animals, people who don't take care of them, they can die because people don't know the calcium or don't know the UVB, which we're going to get into in a minute. But you have to get calcium powder for these animals. My calcium is in here. Oh my God. She's like right here. Right? She's right there. You see? She likes moves around, but this right here is my calcium powder. My camera is focused. That's my calcium powder, and I'm not a reptile YouTuber, but since I have a lizard, I'm just like, why not put the camera up and record, you know? Okay, so yeah, that's important. You need calcium powder because the MBD, the metabolic bone disease, where their bones start cracking, and I'm not gonna pull up a picture because it's scary and makes me sad looking at it because you know I have a bearded dragon and I kind of get, my heart kind of hurts looking at that stuff, so I'm not even gonna pull it up to traumatize you guys. Okay, so the next thing you're gonna need is UVB and UVA, and UVB is important for the calcium thing, for this calcium powder, because since they can't like produce their own calcium, they need UVB to produce it for them. And UVB is very important. If I miss anything, make sure you drop it in the comments below. But they need UVB because it doesn't, yeah, they need UVB for the calcium, you know, stuff, so they can get calcium so they won't get metabolic bone disease. And also do not use the bulbs. I recently heard that using the bulbs, they don't produce enough UVB. So stay away from that. I'll tell you what to use in a minute. And then now heat bulbs. Heat bulbs I use is between 100 watts to 125 watts. You don't want it to be hot because it will burn your lizard. And I don't recommend using those heat mats inside. I don't recommend anything that plugs into the wall either. That's just not great. Whoever sells those, they need to get rid of those because heat mats, heat rocks that you plug in the wall, I don't think that's great. I just feel like the heat from the light source is better. Just don't use heat rocks and don't use heat mats. I mean, I know some people use heat mats, but I just don't think heat mats are really good. You can have a debate in the comments about that, but yeah. Okay, so the heat bulb that I use is 100 to 125 watts. And the UVB I use is a Pro T5. I don't know the exact watts, but I just know I use a Pro T5, including the UVB stick. And you got to change it every 6 to 12 months. That's the max, 6 to 12 months. And mine is not old. So, yeah. Mushu's right here. You see, she's chilling. But, like, from 6 to 12 months is good. And one thing people don't talk about is two things that people be forgetting. Don't use calcium sand and don't use carpet. Carpet can rip your lizard's nails off. And my grandma has a lizard, and I will say, his toenails got ripped out of the carpet and it was not pretty. But his nails grew back, but I don't recommend using I don't recommend using carpet. And plus, carpet gets dirty and patched, they poop on it, they pee on it, and then you gotta put it in the washing and chemicals and all the whole 9 yards. I just wouldn't recommend it. And then calcium sand, they can lick the calcium sand and it's gonna like substitute it for this. And if they can't have too much of this because it's gonna be like an overdose to these lizards. I mean, they need this stuff, but you don't want to give them calcium sand and just know, because they're gonna think that it's this stuff. And I don't even feed her in the cage either, because she can't eat in the cage because she just doesn't. Unless I use tweezers, but I wouldn't really want to take the chance because crickets and all those things move. But I wouldn't recommend using calcium powder. Not calcium powder. You need this stuff. I meant to say calcium sand. You need this calcium, but you don't need calcium sand. Sand that I would recommend is Repti sand. It's all natural. It's great. Look it up. Or take this video and apply it to other videos you're watching. Because, you know, take videos and apply it to the other videos. Okay? Okay, so like I said, you don't need to use calcium sand and you don't need to use carpet because many of those reasons that I just told you. Next is decor. You're going to need basking spot so they can chill on the rock, so they can digest their food and also get enough UVB rating because they need enough. The UVB is the AT Pro 5 that I'm talking about. That thing. I two bowls, food and water, but water bowl kind of takes the humidity, but I use a smaller bowl. But I use 2 for food and water. People use 1, but I use 2. But I may just start to use 1, but I use 2 for me. If anybody wants to correct my mistakes in this video, you can comment it down. No hard feelings. You know, so we all need criticism, right? So, yeah. Okay, so logs and trees. I have logs and I have trees. I only have 1 tree and 1 log, basking rock and stuff, which I'm going to show you at the end of this video. But, yeah. Look at her. She's just chilling, right? She's just chilling. Okay, so yeah, get logs and get trees or whatever you want to do. Logs, tree, like I said, you need to get those 2 things. The sand, I've already talked about it, but in my statement it says Repti sand. Get Repti sand. It's good. It's natural, like I said. Hammocks are good for them to sleep at night, but she sleeps everywhere in her cage. It doesn't matter. She can sleep. She sleeps on her log. She sleeps in her hammock. She even sleeps on the sand at one point. She sleeps anywhere, but just get a hammock. And make your tank your own thing, but just do the research. Do the thing you want to do with your tank. Just research what you want to do and just follow. Or make it desert-like, you know? So I want you to make the tank unique to you and to them. Like me, everyone doesn't have the same design as me, I know. So like, yeah. Okay, now let me give you some advice on how to handle them when they're babies. When they're babies, you don't want to hold them right away because they can get stressed. And I wouldn't recommend when they're babies putting them on your shoulder because they can fall and they're fragile. Oh my, she keeps moving, so I'm sorry, but they can get stressed when they're babies, and I don't handle them too much. Like, wait about a week, and, you know, once you wait a week, then you can start handling. But I feel like when if you don't want to handle them in like a week, when I first got her, she was already social, so she liked people, but like, really, but still, I don't want you to stress them out. So all I did was I pet her all the time. So pet her under her chin. She was great at that. And one thing you don't want to buy, you don't want to take advice from anybody in a pet store. I wouldn't take advice from them for these animals. Any animal you see in the pet store, I wouldn't recommend. I wouldn't recommend following. Having some technical difficulties. Apple, you need to count your days. I'm using an iPhone and my storage is full, and they're telling me my storage is full. And they're telling me I need to delete some stuff. So it said, manage my storage. I don't want to delete all my stuff, but Whatever. So what we on? Yeah, don't take advice from people in the pet store. They don't know what they're doing. They just want to sell you stuff. One thing you don't want to buy for lizards. Yeah, I put her back. She's not on my shoulder. You don't want to buy the dry food, and you don't want to buy the dead worms and the pellets. That's just not healthy. That's basically it. You don't want to buy that because it's just not good. I recommend just giving them the real vegetables and the real alive moving worms and moving bugs. Get them that. It's just not healthy for them. And yeah, that's basically it for this video. If you like this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and bye guys. And I'll show you the tank right now. This is my tank. We're gonna raw dog it. We're gonna show you, but this is my log. Water bowl is right here. She's laying on the log right now. That's the log. That's the basking spot. A nice tiki. I'm gonna open the other door. The tiki. Oh, and I forgot to mention, you actually need one of these, a thermos or whatever this is called. My humidity is way off. I'm trying to change that now. I think I need a dehumidifier, so I gotta buy one. But got a rock back here, rock back there, a tree, a food bowl with kale, with calcium, and a hammock. That's what's in her thing. Oh my god, this is why it stinks in here, because there's a big fat turd back there. Big fat but you know, one thing about these lizards, they poop a lot. They take massive dookies, so yeah. But this is her tank. Oh my god, let me not slam. But this is her tank. Nice and beautiful. We got the heat lamp, 125 watts on each, because this came in a 2-pack. And the T5 is back here. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe for more videos. Bye, guys.